Hello, everyone. You're all very welcome to Underground Cinema. As you all know, we're at the moment. I'm interviewing as many filmmakers as humanly possible at the moment before the 15th Underground Cinema Awards, which take place on the 16th of November in Dunleary. We're only weeks away from it, but I think it's great to meet some of the guys that have made the films and to meet some of the actors behind some of the films and some of the crew. And tonight I've got with me Luke Walters. Luke, you're very welcome, Luke.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, that's a cool logo at the start, isn't it? Fair play.
Yeah, do you like it? Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching it. I was like, oh, that's well nifty. I really like that. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
Great. Now, Luke and I go back a little bit. I first met Luke last year. So Luke had submitted his film into us last year to Underground Cinema, and it picked up the Best International Film Award. It also later on in the year, May the 4th. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. There it is. There. Yeah. Fantastic. And then a little later on in the year, in May, we're also involved in the Sci-Fi Film Festival down in Kerry called the May the 4th Sci-Fi Film Festival. Luke was down there. They picked up the honours again for Best Actor for Jonathan Carley, and you guys won Best Script. So it was a great time for you last year.
Yeah, we had fun. We seem to do really well in Ireland apparently, and when we come over as well, because I think especially for the May the 4th Film Festival, when we went down in down that far, we'd never been that far before. It was a beautiful bit of the country. Best pint of Guinness I ever had was in that hotel. That is, I'll die on that hill. The best pint of Guinness I ever had was in the hotel where the awards were. That was a phenomenal pint of Guinness. So yeah, it was great. It was fantastic.
We all had a great time last year. It was, it was an absolutely fantastic time. The film, I forgot to mention, was called I Made War of the Worlds. And the film that you've submitted to us this year, again, is another H.G. Wells take. And it's called I Made the Time Machine.
Original. Yeah, very, very original, I know. I think we wanted to try and do something we wanted to do like a pseudo sequel to it. We wanted to do you got Shaun of the Dead, you got Hot Fuzz, you got World's End, you got that Cornetto trilogy. I think after we made I Made War of the Worlds, we were like, we could probably do something with Time Machine and maybe one more down the line. And we were like, let's have a think. And we were like, yeah, okay, let's do it. This is our Hot Fuzz to Shaun of the Dead, as I like to call it. So it's very, very different. It's the same cast. It's the exact same cast with some a little few additions. Two Irish actors actually. pandering to the crowd there. Pandering to the crowd.
I have the trailer here, so why don't we have a little look at the trailer and then we can go into in more detail. Hang on a second, let's put it on.
You look like a man stuck in the past.
I am late. Something came up. Happily, it's now been dealt with. This is the Journal of H.G. Wells.
It is?
Last night you claimed you need to get back to 1895.
I do.
The time traveller, for so it will be convenient to speak of him, was expounding a recondite matter to us.
Wow, fantastic. It's like you stepped up a gear when you did this film. When I watched the trailer's great, by the way. I love the music's great. It really hypes it up, doesn't it?
Thank you. Yeah. So the trailer's a little bit deceiving. I'd like to say it's a little bit deceiving at some points. It seems like an action film. It's not an action film at all.
Yeah, but your cast are great, and you work with the same guys quite a lot. Now I met Jonathan when he was down in Kerry last year. I had an absolute blast with him. He's such a nice fella, such a talented actor, and he was great. He was great in the I Made War of the Worlds, but he's absolutely super. He relishes this role, I think, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a different one, because I think when we were trying to do it, we always said if we're going to do the pseudo sequel to it, if we're going to do a time machine, we don't want to do something that's similar or the very same storyline, because we're using the same cast members as well. So I was trying to find, right, okay, how do we keep the same three core cast members in John, James, and Ellie? How do we keep them in it and not do the same story? So I think we tied around with it for a while, and we didn't know what to do. Myself and Jamie, we didn't know what to do. We were stuck. We were bouncing back and forth. At one point, we were doing like a straight adaptation of The Time Machine, and we were like, well, this is not really working for us. So we struggled for a long, long time. And I think I was listening to a podcast with Steve Kaplan, and he broke down like the comedy hero's journey. And I was like, oh, that's inadvertently. I was like, War of the Worlds follows that structure without me realizing. I was like, oh, okay, let me just. So I studied the comedy hero's journey a little bit more and kind of delved into it. I was like, well, what if we make H.G. Wells the time traveler? I know they did a film before when I think it's Another Time or something. I can't. It slips my mind, but it's when H.G. Wells and Jack the Ripper time travel. So yeah, we were like, let's try H.G. Wells as a time traveler. That's very different. And then John's character then he's not Jeff from War of the Worlds. He's playing H.G. Wells. Getting John in that mustache was always very, very fun experience trying to convince him to do that. But yeah, and obviously because he plays Doctor Who as well for Big Finish, so I'm trying to push the boat out as far as I can. So I've got him playing a time traveler wearing a bow tie and tweed in a film, and I was like, see how far it goes before the BBC send me a cease and desist, because he's very close to Doctor Who. But yeah, John, they're all great in it. To be fair, I think they're all great. I think James as well. I think because he leads it. I think H.G. Wells is just a pure menace from the get go, and I think is really grounded with James. I think James was solid in War of the Worlds. He was very, very good, but I think he was second to John. But this one, he's especially the monologue towards the end when he's when they come back after the heist, and I was like, James got a bit of grit about him. I was like, go on, lad. And he relished it, to be fair. And I think them two bounce off each other well. I think the chemistry is there, and I think once you put in the other guys as well, I think because we're all good friends, so we just bounce off each other anyway. And I think it comes across on camera that we're all we had a good time making this movie. I think it comes across on screen. So yeah, it was nice. It was a good experience. Really good.
Yeah. I mean, they bounced off. They worked really together well in the first one, and they bounced off each other really well. Elizabeth is also great in it as well. I'm sure when I watch your films, it looks like I do be thinking about the behind the scenes stuff. It must be great. Some of the stories that probably went on behind the scenes, while making these films, it must have been just great fun. It's sort of, you can feel it when you're watching it. This was a really good fun shoot.
Yeah, it was fun. We one very, very well-known filmmaker inadvertently nearly caused me a delay on some days of shooting and nearly pushed filming back. And his name is Guillermo del Toro, because he stole one of my actors to do a certain something for a new Frankenstein Netflix series that might be coming out soon. But luckily we made it work. So in the daytime, like I think he was in London in the morning. I haven't said his name, so it's fine. But he was in London in the morning being directed by Guillermo del Toro, and then in the evening he's being directed by me. So I bet he had a rollicking that day. But yeah, we all had a great time. I think, there's no drama on set. I think everyone knew what we were there to do. I think everyone did the job. Everyone had fun. There's some stressful days because we had a lot to get through at some points. Especially the school stuff, because we did all the university stuff, in one day, and that was about a 7 to 9 page day. That was hefty. But yeah, we just plowed on and we got through it. There was no moaning, no one complaining. Everyone had a good time. It's like, I can't wait to do the next one with them, realistically. So we just had the cast and crew screening not so long ago as well, and everyone had a right good knees up and got drunk, and it's just everyone gets on so well, and it's like, oh, this is nice, man. This is how it should be. It was really, really cool.
Fantastic. And where was it shot? Was it shot in London? Was it, or Manchester?
No, it shot in Manchester. Yeah, shot in Manchester. So a lot of the same locations. A lot of the same locations as War of the Worlds, actually. So it was all shot in Manchester. Oh, a little bit in Leeds, actually. A little bit in Leeds. So I decided not to use my flat because my flat features in every film I make, apparently. So I shot in a house in Leeds. So there you go. Very kindly from Dave and Kathy loaned me their living room for the day, and I completely trashed it with 15 to 16 people and X amount of kit, and yeah, it was a that was a fun old day. That trips and everyone out of Manchester for an hour just to go film that, but it was good. Like it was nice to experience somewhere not Manchester for shooting, but yeah, it was good. Yeah, all in Manchester. So
And how many days? What was the shoot?
4 days. So it was 20. I think it was a 20 to 23 page script, and we shot it over 4 days. 2 weekends we shot it in. So yeah, it was good. I think we did some pickups. I added the scene at the end because the flow of the film was slightly off at one point. There's a scene towards the end. It's the scene with him in the pub. That was the scene. That was added in because the scene after what happens, confrontation with H.G. Wells, and then afterwards of him running through the college, it just seemed like it was a little bit of a just there. It was just like, okay, that's not earned yet. It was like, he needs a moment to himself. Like we've gone like that the entire time. He just needs a moment to breathe and chill and just reflect on everything. And so we added the extra scene of in the pub of Mike Payton, bless him, Irish actor Mike Payton, of him just talking to him, because when you go into a pub you always get some guy who's just randomly chatting to you and you're just like, oh come on. So it's just the time for him just to reflect on what's happened and then comes to the realization the morning after. But yeah, otherwise the pace was just too quick. So realistically 5 days. But it was not 5. It was like we were in the pub for like 2 hours just shooting that one scene. So I'll stick with 4. I'm happy with 4.
So the film's just over 22 minutes, right? It's 22 and a half minutes long with credits, okay?
Yeah.
So which for a film festival, not for us because we enjoy every second of it, but for some film festivals, that's considered a tad on the long side. Were you worried about that?
No, I think it's come to a point now where I just want to make the films I want to make. I don't want to make them for festivals per se. So I want to make this. I want to make this. I want to make the stories I want to make, and I don't want to worry about the length. To be honest, it's like and a lot of the film festivals now, as yourself know, a lot of them are going hybrid, where they'll have some physical screenings, some online. So there's a lot more flexibility now. And yeah, so I wasn't worried, to be honest. I just wanted to tell the story. I didn't want the pacing to be off. I didn't want it to be rushed. I was like, the original script was 30 pages. But we cut it down and we kept it nice and concise. Yeah, I think it's doing quite well at the festivals. I think I finished it the deadline day. I finished it the deadline day. I think you were the first. It was you and Mother at the festival with the first 2 submissions straight away as soon as it was done. So I was like, I gotta get it. I was like, I'll get it done for Underground because I'm a massive fan of Underground. We had a good time there last year, and I was like, I'll get it done for that. But yeah, so yeah, no, I just want to make the films I want to make, and I don't want to pander to festivals. If the festival wants it, fantastic, amazing. But if not, cool. I know it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah. Well, here's an interesting fact for you. Okay, so when we first started Underground Cinema 15 years ago, your sort of average running time was about 12 to 15 minutes. That was the average back then. This year versus last year, at the film festival in Dunleary, we had exactly 20% increase in films that were 20 plus minutes long. 20% increase. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's good. That's good.
And now we're exactly what you just said there. If the film's good, we'll screen it. If it is 20, 22 minutes, 25 minutes, if it's got good content and it's going to entertain the audience, it will be screened. We'll do the best we can to squeeze it in. I do get the bigger film festivals, the very large ones, like in Ireland, you've got the Galway Fleadh and the Dublin International Film Festival, and it's all down to timing. And when something comes in at about 22, 25, it starts to get a bit scary because they feel they can, they could get probably 2 shorts in there for the price of 1, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's the same here, to be honest. But it's like, if a film is good, like, would you rather one really good film or potentially 2 or 3 like films that are they're okay, or do you want like one really, really good one that's a little bit longer and people might get a bit more out of it? I think it's all to do with the story, to be honest. I think if you could tell a story in 15 minutes or 12 minutes or 8 minutes, great. If it's done in 20, fantastic. I think as long as the film services the story and you're telling the story you want to tell on screen, and you're not sacrificing it to be like, oh well, I got to cut out 10 minutes here or 5 minutes here or 2 minutes here just to get into this festival. I think, well, you're not being true to yourself as a filmmaker, because that's not the story you wanted to tell. The story you want to tell is the long vision, the vision you cut, the vision that you hold it on to. So I think you do need yourself a disservice sometimes when you're cutting it just to get into a festival. So
Yeah, and I think if you look at some of the, the small to medium sized indie film festivals, they will do the very best they can to try and program it into the festival. They will find time if they want to find time. They will find it. It might mean a shorter interval, or it might mean a program has to be shorter. One program has to be shorter than another program has to be longer. There is ways of getting it in. So I mean, that's our ethos. Is if the film is good, and if there's any way to squeeze it in, we will do the best we can. We was a bit manic this year because the festival was great this year. We were normally we do it over 3 days. This year we were sort of in a situation where we had to do it over 2 days. It was really to do with the venue. We book a year in advance, and after the festival back in 2023, we booked straight away, and we just could not get the three dates in a row in the hotel because we used quite a lot of function rooms. So and what we do as well is we don't want to clash with any other film festival around the country. That's an absolute no. So we were down to 2 days. Would you believe we screened more films in those 2 days than we did in the 3 days the previous year? Yeah, fantastic. we had to. It was a juggling act really, because we cut back on some features in order to get more of the shorts in, because we were just inundated with shorts, and the standard was so good. It was just it was criminal that these films weren't going to get a shot. So we juggled things around, and we managed to pull it off. But it was tight, because it's like what I said. I saw a couple of shorts that were a bit longer. Around say the 22, 25 minute mark, and I felt if I cut the interval, we started to give ourselves half an hour gap between each program, and if I could make maybe this program the gap is only 15 minutes, I'll definitely be able to get it in. So it was tight, but we pulled it off.
Fair play to you, Dave. Fair play. That's some talent there. Well done, man. That's incredible. Well done.
We've also going into next year's season of online films. We're actually going to put a sci-fi category in this year. I know we have to make the Fort Sci-Fi Film Festival again next year in Portmagee, but Underground Cinema are going to put a sci-fi category in because it was probably our involvement in the Sci-Fi Film Festival down in Kerry where we realised that there is a huge amount of sci-fi and fantasy films being made at the moment, and it definitely deserves a category of its own.
Yeah, no, it's massive. It's massive. I think because people obviously. The world we live in today is very drab and depressing, and people like that. It's like one of the biggest shows in the world is just is Doctor Who. Just have a look at what Star Wars is doing. Well, not so much anymore, but don't need to talk about that. But look what like Marvel. I think they got such a grip on pop culture now. I think it's the in thing. It's like nerd culture, for example. It was like. When I was growing up, if I told people I was a Doctor and Star Wars fan, I'd be looked down upon. Now it's almost unpopular to not like your superheroes, your Marvels, your Batmans, your Xiaos. So it's completely flip flop. So it's completely the in thing now. So people want a bit of escapism. I think that's what it is, escapism. And if you can watch something that's it looks cool, tells a good story, and it takes you away. Because don't get me wrong, drama I think is drama is your meat and bones of film. But I think I think you have to cut your teeth in drama. But if you can watch something that takes you away and just makes you forget about life for 5 minutes, if you're going to watch a short film, or you could watch a film with two people talking in a room, or you're going to watch someone fighting with lightsabers, it's like, I'm going to watch the one fighting with lightsabers. I was like, I see people every day. I talk to people every day. Life is too depressing. I don't want to see someone else on screen being sad and living the same life as me. I want to see Chewbacca. I want to see Boba Fett. I want to see these fantastical creatures living this fantastic life, like far, far away, as I did there. So sci-fi has just become massive.
It's huge, and you can see it certainly in Ireland. I know it's big in the UK, and it has been before. before it really took off in Ireland. But if you look at some of the Comic Cons in Ireland now, so the big one now would be Dublin DCC, Dublin City Comic Con. Then you have MCM in Dublin in January. There's about 4 major Comic Cons, and when you go to these cons, they are absolutely. You can't get tickets to DCC. It's next to impossible sometimes. The costumes that the guys, the work that goes into some of these costumes, I do it myself, so I do.
Yeah, I'm fully aware. Yeah, your Boba Fett is incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. He's sitting over there behind me. But also Doctor Who. So I've friends that are huge into Doctor Who. There's always a TARDIS there at a convention. You'll always have a dog flying around the place. You know, it's still as popular to guys in their 50s like me and 60s. And then kids that are in there, you know, that are just 10, 11, 12. They love them.
Yeah, it's mad.
It's iconic, it's such an iconic.
Yeah, we recently took, oddly enough, we took I Made War of the Worlds, and it was screened at a Doctor Who convention. Because I guess the tenuous link is obviously John Carley playing the War Doctor. But yeah, we took it there because obviously it's very much in that world, and the reception we had to it was fantastic. So it's like, even though they're Doctor Who fans, they were sci-fi fans, they're comedy fans, you can appreciate it. So I think it's all very much living in the same world. But yeah, Doctor Who, some of the costumes there as well were fantastic. Yeah, and everyone's just, I think it's a very comfortable space where, you know, you were frowned upon when you were younger for liking these type of shows, and now it's so popular and it's become, everyone's is so accepted that people are just rushing out and people are just embracing it, and I think it's fantastic, and long may it continue.
Yeah, we talked last year. I mean, you and I are both huge big H.G. Wells fans. I mean, we last year we were talking about the War of the Worlds concert, and we were talking about you know, the stage show. Have you got anything else in mind? H.G. Wells, is there another story that you might like to tell?
Yeah, there's one more. So as I said, we're going to do like a Cornetto trilogy version. So we're going to do. So we got I Made War of the Worlds, I Made the Time Machine, and we're going to do I Made the Invisible Man. So that's going to be the last. That's going to be the last one we're touching on. I finished the script for that last weekend. I think I finished it last weekend. I was really tired. I know that. I finished it at 4 o'clock in the morning, so sending it furiously out to all the cast and crew. Actually, I hadn't sent it out to all the crew, so if they watch this, the script is done. Yeah, I was furiously sending that out. It was only a first draft, but just wanted to get some opinions and gauge some things on it. But that strays more into horror than actual sci-fi and comedy. It strays a lot further into thriller than like not the Michael Jackson thriller. It goes more into the thriller genre and akins to scream ever more slightly than I originally pictured it in my head being. So yeah, again, that's the same cast as well. That would be James, John, and Elizabeth returning with pretty much everyone else that's in Time Machine and then War of the Worlds. But yeah, I think that one's going to be a bit more of a. It's going to be a murder mystery. It's going to be set in it's a 1920s murder mystery weekend away where the Invisible Man strikes. So that's.
I keep on looking over this way, and you're probably wondering, why does he keep on looking over that way? Because I've got the Invisible Man poster up on the wall up there. You see all these strange pictures all over this room in here. They're everywhere. But I've got the classic The Invisible Man poster I'm just looking at there. So he's got it. You know, I don't know if you're going to go down the road as the actual film, because some of the costumes are great, and I'm just looking at the Invisible Man now at the moment, where he's got the wrapping right way around his head, and he's got those like steampunk glasses on. I'm just looking at it here.
Yeah.
You know, pretty cool. It's a pretty cool outfit. What would you be tempted to shoot in black and white, or keep it in color, or have you put any?
Oh, it lends itself. There's bits in the story. It lends itself. There is certain bits that are black and white. It's 4:3. I think. Yeah, but it is a murder mystery, so some of it is a little bit of a callback to the older style, and then we do have like the more modern meta style, like akin to like I'll say modern. It's the 1990s, the Scream films, for example. So it leans into the slasher genre a little bit. which I didn't expect. But clearly, I've been watching the Scream, and it's kind of bled into me, bled through. Yeah, it's a very different. Like you read it, and you're like, oh, this is not like the other two in the slightest, in the slightest. But yeah, it's a pretty mad one. It's pretty long, to be fair. I think the first draft is like 40 pages, and it's like, right, okay, let's cut this down. This needs to be cut. Yeah, I think the plan is, I think we're going to go away to a manor house or a mansion for the weekend, and not for the weekend, for a week, and just shoot her in a week, get it done. Just book her away. All cast and crew, we all stay there for a week, and we just get it done in a week. So that'll be fun.
Yeah,
I think it'll be the best one. I'm really, really excited about it. Really, really excited about it.
Do you know there's a good, you know, by doing something like that, bring the cast and crew, bring them all to the same, you know, to the location where the film is going to be shot. You know, say you bring them there for 3 or 4 days. There was a lot of filmmakers that I knew from last year that had done something very similar in Ireland for a horror film as well. And the bonding that goes on, you know, when you get everybody together for the 4 days, it's an experience that you'll never forget. It'll be there with you forever. You're going to have an amazing film.
Yeah, I think so. I've done something very similar. I think there's a film on I think it's on Netflix. I don't know if it's on Netflix in Ireland, but there's a film called Utah Cabin Murders, or The Cabin Murders, and we shot that up in a log, like a luxury log cabin resort up in Llanidloes. And it was by Andrew Jones. He was like the British Roger Corman, for example. He made loads of like B movie horrors. He sadly passed away fairly recently. But but we stayed there for about a week, and we shot this film, and we had such a great time. Like, we had such a laugh, and like, still to this day, one of the boys that I know, I think me and Chris, who was I think he was the first AD. I think we were chilling in a hot tub having a couple of cans, watching Doctor Who on a laptop, and our mate was working on the new Watchmen series with Jeremy Irons, and he was phoning us, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh man, we're just chilling. We're doing this." And he's like, "I wish I was with you. I wish I were in on Watchmen. I wish I was with all you lot." And we were like, "Yeah, man, this is cool." So hopefully we're trying to bring that same energy to this one. So yeah, I think we're going to plan. I think it's going to be a 6-day shoot. I think we're going to get the mansion for 7 days, and then we're going to get there. I think it's going to be Friday to Friday, and by the time we're finished, we'll have a completed film. So yeah, it'd be good. Be a murder mystery with Invisible Man. Can't wait.
Yeah. I'm sure the rap party for that'll be great.
Oh yeah. Everyone will get lost. Someone will be in the pool. Yeah, it'll be mad. That'll be good. Yeah, I think we got a really good crew as well. We're all really keen to work with each other, and we still do. I work with them all the time. Especially John. John's in every one of my films. Bless him. I just drag him into everything. So I think we're doing. We just did a short comedy sketch for Halloween on how not to survive a horror film. We're doing a new web series. I think we shot 2 episodes of it. We're shooting the 3rd one this weekend, called Hooligans, and it's about 2 Doctor Who fans that live with each other. And it borders the line of it's a sci-fi sitcom, essentially, sci-fi comedy sitcom, and that's pretty funny. John's not in that, obviously, because it's quite linked to Doctor Who, so he's not allowed to be in it or be involved. So we're shooting that now, so we're trying to get that done. I think we're going to aim to release it. I think the first episode is actually going out next month. I think it's going out the 23rd of November, and then I think it's going to be every 23rd then. So it's finished. So it's only going to be 6 episodes, about 10 minutes long each.
And where can we see them, Luke?
So it's going to be on the Cinescope Pictures YouTube channel. Everything will be going out there. So we got another film coming out now on Thursday. I don't know what the day is on Thursday, but this Thursday we got a film called Knuckles, which I shot a couple of years ago, but just remastered it, recolored it, starring Paul Black, who's an incredibly talented actor. The tragic backstory, which is it's an element of a lot of the stories they're true stories. Was a very dark and harrowing film. It won loads of festivals quite a couple of years ago, and that's actually 35 minutes long actually. So that one's a hefty boy. The original cut was 45. That's coming out Thursday. Then I think on the following Thursday, which I believe is the 24th or 26th, something. But it's going to be that's going to be the comedy sketch, How Not to Survive a Horror, and then the 23rd of November is going to be Hooligans episode 1, and then Hooligans episode 2, and then there's going to be stuff coming out in between as well. So yeah, we're so busy. I'm so tired, and I'm trying to plan stuff to do with Tyson Fury as well at the same time. So it's so
Yeah.
busy and so tiring. Yeah, so I think we're
You,
shooting his Christmas campaign.
Yeah. What I was just going to say was send us the links and we'll stick them up on the website and we'll push them on social media as well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. Yeah, but yeah, we're so busy. Like, it's nice though. It's nice because we're in very much a nice groove now. Where I don't we've got a nice crew. We like working together. We're making good stuff. So it's like, well, let's continue that. Let's keep it going. Let's see how far we can go before we make a War of the Worlds feature, a Time Machine feature, an Invisible Man feature. I think that's the goal. Next is after Invisible Man is done and Hooligans is done, I'm gonna have a break. Finally, I'm gonna have a rest, and then I'm gonna go straight on to I Made War of the Worlds, the feature film, and get that going.
Well,
And that's the plan.
fantastic. Will we see you in Ireland in November, or are you thinking about coming over?
Absolutely. The majority of the cast and crew want to come at this point. I was just like trying to organize it. It was easy last year. It was just me and Ellie, and then down to down the bottom, down to Kerry. It was me, John, and Jamie. And now everyone wants to come. I think because we all had such a good time down there, over there, and everyone loves Dublin, and everyone, and myself, Jamie, and John spoke very highly of yourselves and the festival. Everyone just wants to come. I think everyone just wants to come. So it's trying to organize this now is quite difficult. But yeah. So you will 100% see me. You'll see James. You'll see John Stewart. You'll see Jamie. Possibly John Carley. Maybe Paul Preston. Maybe 2 more. So there'll be anywhere between 4 to 10 of us. From what I can. Yeah, from what I can gather, it'll be between 4 and 10 of us. So. Yeah, that'll be mad. But we're on a little bit of a tour now for the next foreseeable with Time Machine. I think we're down in Wales now on the 26th. Then we're over in Stockton, over in the northeast on the 9th. On the 9th. Oh, we're in Manchester on the 3rd. Then we're in Stockton on the 8th, 9th. Then we were over with you on the 16th, or 15th or 16th. Then I got a week off, and then I'm down in Bristol then on the 30th, and then we're back in Manchester on the 7th of December, and then I'm flying to Saudi Arabia to go over for the Usyk Tyson Fury fight. So I'm pretty
do you know
busy.
what?
So.
You need a T-shirt with all the tour dates on the back of your T-shirt.
No, exactly. Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, I think we did it last year when I think towards when War of the Worlds was coming to the end of its run. I think we did like a little. We were like, oh well, War of the Worlds. I Made War of the Worlds was doing its own festival tour because it's just as Jeff Wayne was pushing his. So we kind of like, oh well, we're doing our own one, and that was over to you or down to London, and yeah. So I think this one, this one's just. I don't know why this one has just taken off even more, and I was just like, oh wow, this is not what I expected because it's a very, very different film to War of the Worlds. It's a very, very different film. So I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with the result. So yeah, I think all the casting.
Yeah, well, look, we really enjoyed it. We thought it was fantastic. We thanks so much for sending it in to us, and give our regards to John. We look forward to seeing him again if Elizabeth's coming over. We look forward to seeing everybody. They'll all be very, very welcome to Ireland. I can tell you, special table for you guys.
Oh, I know. Thank you. Yeah, Jesus Christ, that's going to be. That'll be a messy night. That, trust me. Everyone can't wait. Everyone can't wait.
Great. Okay, then, Luke. We'll wrap up, and I'll chat to you soon.
Yeah, no worries. I'll see you. See you November the 16th for the 50th Underground Film Awards.
That's it. Thanks, Luke.